Right before me, usually, a side stage with Trav, 1 to 3. I don't think that happened today. My condolences to Mr. Travis. After me, Stinky Art Music Mart. I believe he's in today. My nose is twitching. I smell like some old cheese that's kind of got its way into the studio. So that tells me that Stinky Arts Music Mart will probably be happening today. Black Ring Ritual wraps up your Thursday here. KRFF 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org, streaming everywhere. The best independent radio station in the world as far as I'm concerned. I believe we've made it to stinking 4 o'clock. So hello, everybody. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. I'm Wilson. 4:20, we open a big fat bag of cannabis news. So depend on it. In fact, get some water in that ice tray and hurry up and get some ice for that cylinder. For you medical card holders. I think if you have a medical card, you can legally say bong. 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 Anyway, it's Wilson. This weather's got me a little fried in the brain. I don't know if I'm feeling that great, to be honest. My pastor said to me, Corona 4.0. And it kind of struck me in the heart because I wasn't even thinking about that, but I don't know that I've got COVID, but there's been like a bonfire in my throat the past few days. Things have gotten a little better. And I Googled it in church yesterday, which I should have been listening, but I wasn't, okay? And I Googled it, and sure enough, stupid sore throat is the new quintessential symptom for COVID. But, it is what it is. Ain't no party like a hand squirt party because the hand squirt party don't stop. It's actually a song that I'm in. Google it. Hand squirt party. Hand squirt party. Ain't no party like a hand squirt party because the hand squirt party don't stop. Google it, and I'll show up with my buddy Shane, the Squirt Man. Squirt Man do. But anyway, 4:20, we're going to open a big fat bag of cannabis news. This show is brought to you by Black Cottage Alchemy, blackcottagealchemy.com, Black Cottage Alchemy on Facebook. Or you can hoverboard your hind end downtown here to Tochi Products. Scurry inside, tell Joe you want some body butter, and he'll take care of you. You want stuff other stuff the Black Cottage Alchemy puts out? He'll take care of you there, too. Anyway, this stuff has got 1,600 megs of CBD, mango butter, shea butter. It's kosher, full-spectrum CBD, North Dakota grown hemp seed oil for your body. Hydration of the face, neck, and hair. Rough feet, toe, and foot fungos. That'll work for it. Psoriasis, eczema, it's all good for it. Diaper rash. Put it on your baby's butt. Feel me? Anyway, thank you, Black Cottage Alchemy, for sponsoring this show. I believe cannabis was put here by our creator, God himself, who I solely worship. He's the only God for me. Every Sunday at 11 a.m., 417 Main Avenue. Antioch Church is my church. I'm on stick duty, and my folks are going to be there. And when I say the folks are going to be there, they're not just going to be sitting next to me. They are deputizing to Ecuador, and they'll be on foreign soil the 26th of this month. So they're coming through our church to, procure fundage and just to spread the good word. So that's going to be neat. I'm on stick duty. My dad will be preaching. I think my mom's going to be talking as well. So anyhow, there you have it. And this, throw an axe for a cause. Rough Cut Social is going to have an axe throwing tournament benefiting Fix It Forward Ministry Sunday, November 20th. That is coming up 1 to 3. Rough Cut Social, that's downtown here, 1100 NP Avenue. November fundraiser. So $25 registration, free will donation available. Sign up in person. Participants receive a free 30 minutes of axe throwing for signing up. Again, that's Fix It Forward Ministry. There are people here. Rough Cut Social, they're an underwriter. So do what you do. Okay. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. That's what you're listening to. 420, we open a big fat bag of cannabis news, and you can assure yourself that that's happening. It's a blustery poop day today, and I don't know, man. I'm sick of this weather. It went from 0 to winter, and you know what I mean? It ain't good. But anyway, I think maybe we'll get you into some music. Canna-Talk ND on Instagram for things that are going. And if you've lived under a super rock, Measure 2 did not pass in the state of North Dakota November 8th, which has been like a week or so ago. So if you don't know, then you know. We'll talk about things that have kind of broken loose as a result of the voting results. And we'll talk about what a lame duck is. I'm still not sure why they called it a lame duck, but we'll talk about it. But right now, let me get you into some music. Here's "Come Together" by the Meters, 95.9 Radio Free Fargo. Wow. I really got to get it together. That's "Come Together" by the Meters. It's a Beatles classic here on KRFF 95.9 RadioFreeFargo.org. Streaming everywhere in the world you're at. You want to listen to some velvety, smooth tonage regarding cannabis and the benefits of said cannabis. You in the right spot. 420, we open a big fat bag of cannabis news. This Thursday's no different. If you're living in the state of North Dakota, it's a little snowy, a little white. It's beginning to look a lot like cannabis. I didn't want to say the other word, but it's beginning to look a lot like that too. Downtown Fargo here, they've got the big, super big Christmas tree built up. I don't know if tonight will be the night they fire it up. I hope so. 420, again, we open a big fat bag of cannabis news. We're kind of like in a slumpy slump. I mean, we're kind of like on that high of the pre-election, and now we're on the other side of it. There are certainly things to discuss, but now this interim period between now and 4:15, I've got to kind of riff a little bit, which is all right. Again, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Arkansas, of the 5 states that voted for cannabis legalization, was ejected. I said ejected. Rejected, dejected, ejected. Inspected, corrected. Just rhyming words. It's fun. Everybody can do it. If you're thinking about doing it, come on down. Get a hold of a DJ. There's plenty of time here on Thursday. We got open hours here on Thursday. Somebody texted me, which I just wanted to say now because I just remembered that my daughter's getting married on Saturday. So Friday, I'll be in Bismarck. I've got to pay for the pizza Friday night. So I think there's like 15 people in our party. I know you're probably thinking, boy, what does he smoking to have offered that? You ain't kidding. A lot of people in my family says, you're crazy. You don't have to pay for all that. And I don't, but, YOLO, right? And I don't have any other kids. So it's like, it is what it is. So, shout out to my brother. He's tapped in from Chi-Town to Windy City. Keep your strap on your leg. Keep your strap on your leg and keep the snow on your back. It's like an old native adage. Keep the snow on your back and your strap on your leg. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson every Thursday. I'm kind of snuggled in here. Got some Sesame Street socks on. So I don't know what that means. And I don't know what you guys think of me now that you know that I'm wearing Sesame Street socks. I believe one sock is yellow, so I don't know what that means. That must be Big Bird. Like a Big Bird on my left foot. Again, these are all tidbits of information about Wilson that you didn't know until now. I love Sesame Street socks. My daughter likes Winnie the Pooh. I personally don't love snow. When it's brutal. When it's pleasant and flaky, I kind of like that. And right now it's overclassed. Man, I can't talk, y'all. I can't talk. But it's okay. Cannabis. That's what this show that's what this show's hour is devoted to. And so I probably need to pull out my strain book. I haven't had that out in a while and talk about specific strains because there's just been a lot to discuss, We've been on the Measure 2, Pass It or Die, and now that has moved on. But again, we'll talk about Minnesota at 420. Technically, you can already buy Delta 8. What's the bad one again? So many different Deltas. The 9. You can still buy THC right now in Minnesota because of the goofiness of the legislators that you in Minnesota voted in. They just didn't read the bill. They just didn't read what they were passing. And it's kind of a chuckle because Minnesota is regulated by just conservatism that just was anti-cannabis, and the stranglehold was strong. I mean, and that stranglehold's been broken a bit, and we'll talk about that at 420. But I assure you, the majority of people that were in charge of the string pullers didn't realize they were going to legalize cannabis in the edible form up to 50 mgs a package. And so it was really hilarious because, again, they can't keep track of all the information. And, I tell them, oh, this is just THC from hemp. And they're like, oh, it's not from that dirty cannabis, that dirty pot? No, it's from hemp. Oh, well, then that's okay. It's like, well, it's all the same thing. Your brain don't know the difference. It's just the guy that we voted in charge seems to think he knows the difference, and he doesn't. So, anyway, we're going to play a little toony tune for you here. This is Pretty Pimpin', Kurt Vile. We'll see you on the other side of this. That there was Pretty Pimpin', Kurt Vile. Believe I'm going down from 2015 here on KRFF 95.9 LPFM Moorhead, Fargo, RadioFreeFargo.org, streaming everywhere in the world. Everywhere you want to tap into the world's best radio station as far as I'm concerned, RadioFreeFargo.org. But if you're in the local tower projection here, maybe even in Dilworth, you could listen to a little KRFF 95.9 on your radio dial. I noticed there was a couple HE double hockey sticks in this Pretty Pimpin'. Sorry, God. I try to keep it cuss-free. Now, hell, if you're not going to heaven, you're going to hell, so at least you can say it. So maybe it's not as bad of a word as I thought. But anyway, 420, we open a big fat bag of cannabis news. That's right on the other side of this. Programming on KRFF 95.9 is being underwritten by Art Riot Promotions. Art Riot will design and print any business or personalized custom decal in a variety of shapes and sizes. Art Riot creates custom engraved gifts and promotional items. Art Riot offers flexible online or in-person consultations. Local in-store pickup or shipping is available for any order. Visit them at 819 Main Avenue in Moorhead. Art Riot is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or you can find them online at artriotpromotions.com and also on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Let's do the show, huh? Let's do the show. Let's do it. Here we go. Here's your little intro here for you. If you got a medical card, get in your wheelchair, roll it into the kitchen, open the freezer, get you some ice, stick it in that long cylinder. Gurgle, gurgle, friends. We're going to talk about cannabis on the other side of this. Okay.
Hey, it's Phil from Canna-Heads. Like this episode? Hit that like button. And if you enjoy the show, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on cannabis news, local and national. Listen live on 95.9 in the Fargo, North Dakota region from 4 to 5 p.m. on Thursday. For our non-Fargo region friends, you can listen on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. Now enjoy the show.
Hi! Hey everybody, Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. I'm Wilson. Canna-Talk is just a reference to words being used to discuss cannabis, benefits of cannabis legalization, the like. We're just coming off a voting cycle where if you're in North Dakota or South Dakota, got the cannabis legalized. That's all right, though. Minnesota didn't have a recreational cannabis measure, but they might as well have, and we'll talk about it. The bluer Minnesota gets, the more likely you're going to get cannabis. And like I said, that's stinking Paul Gazelka from the gates of hell, that guy. He kept all progress for cannabis in Minnesota to a nothing, And so he's gone. Democrats apparently gain control. And so Tim Walz, the governor, he assures us that cannabis is as good as legalized. And we'll talk about it. And I'll show you here, because like I said, if you're from North Dakota, South Dakota, you're kind of bummed. If you're from Arkansas, word on the streets is people are no longer voting just because cannabis is on the ballot. They're just not doing it. And it's funny because conversations you have, people say, well, I get plenty cannabis. I don't have any issues. I don't mind the black market. I don't even consider it the black market. You guys do. I just consider it a market. You got farmers markets where you can buy carrots. A lot of people don't see it any different. Now, when it comes to availability. And again, I mean, nobody wants to get pulled over and be found with it. But the stigmas have become less and less, and they're not really jailing for simple possession. I mean, not in Fargo. Now granted, it really does need to be legalized, but I mean, a lot of people have become kind of casual about it. It's casual about its urgency, and because I think just what happens is it's the defeatist attitude. The people in charge just don't care what we think. We ask them to legalize it because it's what we think, and they don't care because they have their ulterior motives because they're legislators and they suck. Otherwise, it would have been done by now, because if the people that were for it, which is the majority, like 80% or something, I was reading somewhere they said people who go to church weekly and older people who also go to church weekly were the ones that voted no for cannabis, and they're the only ones that still do. I go to church twice, sometimes 3 times a week, and I got a radio show promoting cannabis. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but when it comes to midterms, apparently those weekly church attending old grandmas really blew out the voting box. And in the state of North Dakota, that was a no good. But this is from Ganjapreneur. Kentucky governor allows some people to possess and use medical cannabis. Now, he did that with an executive order. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear on Tuesday issued an executive order allowing individuals with certain conditions and who meet specific requirements to be able to possess and consume small amounts of cannabis purchased from a state with legal access. Now, that's something he was able to do because he's a Democrat, he's a governor, and he's pro-cannabis. So people like that get things done. Beshear's actions marks the first time that a governor has legalized medical cannabis with an executive order. So let's give this guy, Governor Andy Beshear, a stinking hand, Jimmy. Fantastic indeed. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. Every Thursday I get in here. You're listening to Wilson. It's Canna-Talk time. So settle in, sit down, or stand up. I don't know. Juggle some stuff. I don't care what you do, as long as you're listening to me tell you that just because North Dakota, South Dakota, and Arkansas didn't get them passed, Maryland did, Missouri did, and Missouri's, boy, they're hustling. I mean, they're going to be plants on the counter, probably plants on the counter already. There's probably plants on your grandma's, on your mother's counter. Hey, you. Anyway, I'm kind of hamming it up because I know my brother's listening all of a sudden. Now I feel like I got to be extra funny. I got to tone it down. But anyway, again, Beshear. First time that a governor has legalized cannabis with an executive order. The order does not set up a legal mechanism for patients to purchase it in the state. Kentucky borders West Virginia and Ohio. They've legalized cannabis. And Illinois, which allows adult use sales. However, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what Missouri, now being a neighbor to Illinois, if they're going to have actually better cannabis, because Illinois just has the crap. If you want crap and you want mass crap and you want to spend a lot on taxes, go to Illinois and get you some crap in a bag. Bag of crap is a new strain. It should be a strain, right? Bag of crap. Indica sativa hybrid. Okay, the order includes a list of eligible conditions and requires written certification of the condition from a physician. In a press release, the governor's office notes that patients covered under the order will need to keep their receipt from legal purchases. Kentuckians suffering from chronic and terminal conditions are going to be able to get the treatment they need without living in fear of a misdemeanor. With 37 states already legalizing cannabis, 90% of Kentucky adults supporting it, he's doing what he can to provide access and relief to those who meet certain conditions and need it to better enjoy their life without pay. Beshear also signed a measure to regulate the sale of Delta 8. In a statement, he said the state needed to establish a regulatory structure for Delta 8 as there are currently no checks on how it is packaged and sold, which is cool. The structure can and will serve as a template for when the General Assembly fully legalizes medical cannabis. That means we can learn in real time, train our people, and be ready to go. And I find that to be smart. Committee found 98% of Kentuckians supported medical cannabis legalization. So why isn't it, available? Individuals convicted of simple cannabis possession with otherwise clean records can apply for a pardon of the charges. I feel like they just never want to give any leeway with this. I mean, if they go, they want to say stuff like, if you got busted for a seed, you may be able to apply for a pardon. If you were convicted of smelling like an unopened bag of cannabis, you may be able to apply for a pardon. What if I got busted with actual cannabis? Ooh, that's not simple anymore, buddy. But anyway, shout out Kentucky. Here we got, oh no. You're not gonna let me, oh no. Anyway, Jesse Ventura says Governor Tim Walz pledged to him quick action on cannabis legalization. I thought I was going to be able to play that, but I'm going to play this here and see if this shows up. This is from Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz, Democrats signal recreational cannabis could be legalized next session. Here we go.
Full Democratic control at the Minnesota State Capitol next year makes legalization of recreational marijuana much more possible. Leaders have already hinted it will happen. Our Caroline Cummings explains what the legislation could look like and how the cannabis industry is getting ready.
Something going up on the bill right away.
Cody Dornbush says he's seen the headlines, legalizing recreational marijuana on the table at the Capitol, now that Democrats will take full reign in January.
I just read that article maybe an hour ago, so now I'm like, okay, it's
He manages Hemp House in Uptown, still riding the wave of new business from a new law this summer legalizing some amounts of hemp-derived THC in edibles.
It's more euphoric, I would say.
Now he's already planning to expand business from retail to production if Democrats have the votes for pot to pass.
Seeing it kind of happen has been a surreal thing, and we're happy to be a part of it. We have a lot of good people that we've been able to work with.
There are more states where recreational marijuana is legal after Tuesday's election. Voters in Maryland and Missouri said okay to a ballot measure, while a few other states said no. That brings the total, though, to 21 states where it's legal. And as for what Minnesotans think, some polling shows that a majority support it, but there are divides along political lines. House Democrats last year passed a bill that failed in the GOP-led Senate. What was in it? Making marijuana legal for anyone 21 or older, expunging low-level cannabis crimes, and providing grants to launch cannabis businesses.
This caucus supports adult-use cannabis. I believe that we will pass that bill.
Stephen Brown, CEO of Nothing But Hemp, which has 6 stores in Minnesota, hopes lawmakers walk, not run, when it comes to this bill, so they can get it right.
There's just a lot of questions that we need answered so that we can actually have a thriving marijuana industry that's safe and effective for consumers.
Caroline Cummings, WCCO 4 News.
All right. Well, that was interesting. But again, Minnesota, man. If you guys live in Minnesota, things are looking good for you guys, for sure. And so that's interesting. We're going to talk about this. Let me see here. Let me talk about this cannabis moment. Larry Booker. Is it Larry? I don't think it is Larry. It's Cory. Larry's an old Pentecostal preacher. Cory Booker is his cousin. I have no idea. Anyway, cannabis reform can pass now during lame duck or many years from now after GOP takes House control. So, again, I don't know what lame duck really means. I mean, I know what a lame duck is. It means like a bird with a broken leg, right? So, if I were to think, okay, this is about a injured bird, well, if we can do it now during the injured bird session, what does that mean to me? I don't stinking know. I don't know. You could call in, but I wouldn't answer because I don't know how to do it, and I got ADD. I can't figure it out. It'd be too stressful for me to figure out how to push a button and whatever. But again, Google lame duck. I don't even know what it means. But Republicans are projected to win the House. So Democrats who want to enact cannabis reform must either do it now during the lame duck session. So time is running short to act on reform while Democrats still have their majorities in both chambers. In an interview with NJ Spotlight News, Booker was asked about the prospect of cannabis legalization advancing in the lame duck. And let me see if I can get that to play here for you.
As far as the lame duck session goes, I heard talk that there could be some movement on legalizing marijuana during that period. Do you feel more optimistic or less optimistic about that?
I would say the same as I was before I left, before this campaigning season. There's a greater understanding on these issues, and I just have a feeling that we can get something done. But the problem we have right now is the clock. There's very little time in this lame duck and a lot of things that people want to do. So I talked to Schumer yesterday. It's just going to be hard to get as much done as we need to. And then when the House of Representatives takes over, even though there's a lot of House members from states that have legalized marijuana in one way or the other, I just don't see the Republicans wanting to advance that. So it's either now or it might be many years from now.
Well, okay. So, a typical politician, he didn't say a whole lot, did he? But anyway, and he certainly didn't explain the lame duck thing, and I certainly don't know what it means. You know what I'm saying? But let's just keep cruising here. Cannabis now, Air Force cannabis policy may ease for recruits. Recruits who test positive for cannabis upon entering the military may not be disqualified under a policy change being considered by the U.S. Air Force. And I think it's just crazy as a person who just, a lot of people would say, didn't excel in my careers, didn't get better jobs because of the stupid drug tests. You know, I mean, it just really is been a problem for our world. So to remove that would be great, you know, because even just small amounts of it in the CBD can throw off, and it's just, the medical benefits are just vast. So it's really, you know, we really need to stop pee testing everybody all the time. So in a move that reflects the continuing successful efforts to legalize cannabis across the country, U.S. Air Force officials recently revealed that they're considering easing the policy for recruits. So if the new policy is adopted, recruits joining the Air Force or the U.S. Space Force, which sounds like a fun thing to do, may be able to receive a waiver if they test positive for cannabis from reporting for duty. All branches of the military forbid service women and men from using cannabis in any form, including hemp CBD, which is stupid. However, each branch sets its own policy for recruits who use cannabis before they enlist and enter the service. Under the proposed policy change, those who test positive for cannabis could be granted a waiver if the Air Force believes a recruit will act in good faith and refrain from using cannabis in the future. It's like, well, why? Just stop it. We're going to stop. We're not refraining from nothing. Recruiting head Major General Ed Thomas told Air Force Times in a recent interview that his staff is exploring the option of granting waivers to otherwise qualified recruits who test positive for cannabis. The facilities where recruits report when they first enter the service. So if applicants test positive when they go to the MEPS, they're permanently barred. But as more states legalize it, there's an increased prevalence of THC positive applicants. I bet. Thomas says we have to be realistic today. We need to exercise common sense today. And I'd say, Mr. Thomas, you are correct, sir. Thomas said the proposed change reflects the changing attitudes about cannabis. 37 stinking states have a medical cannabis legalized. 19 has legalization for rec. And that's only going to go up. It's not going to go down. You know? And this is just basically a weird battle because between the people who want something and the people who think they know better than the people who want something. And the irony is we voted those people in, and it's like they work against us. They've been working against us a lot these past few years. So, anyway, the Army has a similar policy. It grants a waiver to enter basic training following a 90-day waiting period. Last year, the Navy initiated a 2-year pilot program scheduled to run until April 2023 that allows otherwise qualified applicants who test positive to receive a waiver to entering for a boot camp after a 90-day wait period. Over-policing of growing minority populations in some states, legalization of cannabis may be leading to an unattainable trajectory if the standards remain unchanged. In every state in the nation, blacks are more likely than white people to be arrested for cannabis. The military now bars from service most candidates with a significant criminal record or documented, which is kind of funny because you're basically giving them a pistol and taking them over to another country, third world country usually, and say, protect those white rich people over there, would you? Thank you, buddy. And don't even think about cannabis, man. Just keep the pistol pointed at that different skin-colored man, would you? Or was that a child? Whatever. Just shoot him. No cannabis though for you, sir. None. It's like, what? I mean, why do you have to have a clean record to go over and shoot somebody? I mean, I would think the dirtier the record, the easier it would be for your conscience to even send somebody over that's going to possibly get killed. Or it's like, well, these dirty criminals, I mean, it's about time they do something for their country, right? So it's weird that you would want somebody completely, clean. I would think the dirtier the better. Let's send all the dirty people over to fight our wars. Let's let all the clean people stay here where it's clean. Whatever. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. Every Thursday, get in here. 420, open a big fat bag of cannabis news. And I'm getting to the end here. I didn't think I was going to have enough information to get us there, but we do. So let me see. Let's talk about this. This is kind of interesting. This is from Gardenpreneur. Bell County, Texas DA asked coppers, the main cop, the head cop, police chief, Mr. Copper, to resume low-level cannabis crime enforcement. So basically, the DA has been must not have anything to do. Must be just sitting there, going, "Hey, man, we need to prosecute some stuff. Why don't I ask the cop to see if he can go back to busting little cop possessions?" So, Chief Charles has been asked to rescind an order to end enforcement of low-level cannabis possession. Killeen was one of the 5 cities where voters approved a cannabis decrim ballot question on Election Day. 2 days after voters approved the reforms, Kimball issued Special Order 22-07 to end the enforcement of the state law. No arrests will be made for misdemeanor possession of cannabis, the order states. In lieu of a cannabis arrest, officers will not arrest for possession of drug, para, or drug residue. Yes, sir. In that order, you instruct your employees, among other things, not to make an arrest for the possession of cannabis misdemeanors, nor to consider the odor or hemp as probable cause for any search and seizure. I'm writing to respectfully request that you rescind this order. Well, he sucks. Garza stinks. Louis Miner, an activist with Ground Game Texas, the group behind the campaign, and who was elected as the Bell County Commissioner on the same night voters approved the decrim initiative, called Garza's request a non-binding opinion and described it as worthless as the paper it is written on. I can't believe paper's worthless, is it? The DA handles felonies, not misdemeanors. The people voted on it, and the city's moving in the right direction. I praise the chief for giving a special order to comply with the will of the voters. Absolutely. In the letter, Garza said the non-enforcement of cannabis crimes run afoul. Whatever, Garza. The city council scheduled to canvass the election results on November 2-2. City council member Jose Segura said the issue is something the city attorney would have to discuss with council members and give them legal guidance. In Killeen, the measure was approved by almost 70% of voters. Texas, though, that's still pretty illegal there. What do we got here? High times. Oh, this is kind of fun here. Let me see. We're going to close this one off. This is from High Times. Cows given hemp feed to produce milk with THC. Now, this is kind of wild to me because they're not eating THC at all. Okay? It's just hemp. All right, let's read it. A new study from researchers in Germany has determined that dairy cows that were fed industrial hemp produced milk with levels of THC Delta 9. The bad stuff, the good stuff, depending on, who you're asking, who's listening. The cannabis compound most closely associated with the high produced by cannabis. So when a cow eats industrial hemp, they squirt out cannabis levels of Delta 9. That's amazing. That's like magic. The cows also exhibited behavioral changes, indicating that the animals might have been feeling the effects of the cannabinoids contained in the hemp feed. But there isn't any. They've created, they synthesize it. It's wild. This is important as we had no data to know to what extent cannabinoids entered the milk of dairy cows. And me neither. To conduct a study, researchers at the German Federal Institute fed 10 lactating dairy cows different amounts of hemp feed containing a range of cannabinoid concentration. The cows were studied over a period of weeks with researchers collecting data on the behavior, conducting lab analysis on the blood, milk, and poopy poop. The researchers determined that the type of hemp feed given to the dairy cows played a role in the effect the feed had on the animals. Cows that were fed fermented feed made from whole hemp plants showed few differences compared to dairy cows given a traditional diet of corn feed. However, the cows that were given feed made from cannabinoid-rich hemp leaves, flowers, and seeds exhibited noticeable behavioral changes. Of course, let's find out what that is, huh? Additionally, the milk from the cows showed detectable levels of several cannabinoids, including Delta-9, which is crazy. According to the researchers' calculations, these cows consumed up to 86 times the amount of THC that is required to get humans high. Whoa. I thought it was just hemp. Whatever. The effects observed by the researchers included slower heart rate and breathing, pronounced tongue play, which I don't know if I've ever done that, increased yawning, salivation, nasal secretion formation, and reddening of a portion of the eyes. Some animals displayed careful, occasionally unsteady gait, unusually long standing, and abnormal posture, which I don't know what that means. You know, what kind of abnormal posture are we talking about? Robert Piper, head of the department, co-author of the new study, said that the cows that were given the hemp feed also ate less and produced less milk. That is a strong effect on animal health, not a positive effect. We don't know if they have that buzz or whatnot, but he added that the cattle have lower levels of stress hormones. He believes the cannabinoids in the feed reduce stress, but we still have to figure out that mechanism in animals. Jeffrey Steiner, director of Oregon, he has experimented with hemp as a feed supplement for dairy cows and poultry, but he noted that the research only began in 2019 and several more years of study are needed. You're not going to see CBD-enhanced milk on the shelf for a long time. He says that because of the potential to pass on cannabinoids in the milk, it may not be possible to feed this to high-yielding dairy cows, but there's plenty of low-hanging fruit to explore, like feeding hemp to non-food-producing animals like heifers or sheepy sheep. You've been listening to Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. Every Thursday I get in here, 4:20, open a big fat bag of cannabis news. This Thursday's no different. Right before me, side stage with Trav, 1 to 3. Right after me, Stinky Arts Music Mart. And I believe that is going to happen. I smell some stink, and that's all I got to go with. We'll know as we get closer to 5 o'clock. I'm going to read this. Drummer's Journey programming on 95.9 Radio Free Fargo, KRFF, LP is being underwritten by Drummer's Journey. Drummer's Journey offers percussion instruments, which I know that kind of probably blows your mind. Hardware, electronics, accessories, and more. They have a full service for drummers, including repair, custom building, and lessons. Drummer's Journey is located at Highway 10 East Mall in Moorhead, Minnesota. Their hours are Monday through Thursday, 11 to 7. Fridays and Saturdays, 11 to 5. Sundays, noon to 5. For more info, check drummersjourney.com. And they have a profile on Facebook. Again, Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. Going to play you a little music. I'll come back. I'll get you tucked in, and then I'm going to get out of here. This is brand new stinking music from one half of the Hall & Oates. Here's John Oates, Pushing a Rock. Brand new, here on KRFF 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org, streaming wherever you are. Everybody, Canna-Talk ND with Wilson has came to another end. So, salute to everybody that's pro-cannabis. Educate yourselves on the benefits of cannabis so you can educate others. This show is brought to you by Black Cottage Alchemy. Black Cottage Alchemy on Facebook, blackcottagealchemy.com. You can come downtown to Tochi Products and you pick up the body butter, which is the best stuff in the world, made with kosher full-spectrum CBD, North Dakota grown hemp, 1,600 megs of CBD, a bunch of butter in here, frankincense, myrrh, blah, 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 la-da-da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee. But anyway, thank you, Black Cottage Alchemy, for sponsoring this show. They will be sponsoring another year. I'm at my 3-year mark. Isn't that awesome? I've been doing this for 3 years. And I don't know how long I'll keep doing it, but as long as there's a need for cannabis education, I'm going to be out here pushing. I've thought about changing it up, and I will change it up. I mean, I'm going to keep doing radio. I've thought about doing something called fake news, where it's going to be kind of like satire, kind of like The Onion or The Babylon Bee. But anyway, Stinky Arts Music Mart, I believe, is after me. If not, then it won't. Black Ring Ritual will wrap up your Thursday. You got Friday programming, so make sure you come check us out every day, because we're the best independent radio station in the world, as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to get out of here. You guys be good to yourselves. Dust off your sweaters because this weather is winter. We've got some holiday stuff coming up, so that's exciting. We got the holiday Parade of Lights coming. We're going to have a float in it, so that's going to be exciting. I'm going to jump out of here, though, because I got to go do some stuff. And then, like I said, I got the wedding upcoming. So I'm going to be stinking busy, people. But anyway, educate yourselves on the benefits of cannabis so you can educate others on said benefits. I'm out this stinking door, so you know what time it is. David Allen, Judgment Day. Peace.